Brace yourselves. Something huge just went down live on TV that's sending shockwaves through the wrestling world. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker teamed up for a jaw-dropping massive attack on none other than the Beast himself, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, you heard that right. Two rising stars boldly stepping up to challenge one of the most dominant forces in WWE history. The energy in the arena was electric, the crowd absolutely buzzing with disbelief and excitement. It wasn't just a clash of power and skill. It was a statement, a bold move from Reed and Breakker, showing the world they're ready to shake things up and carve out their own legacy. Moments like this? Pure wrestling magic. Behind the curtain, a story of broken brotherhood and corporate politics. For weeks, insiders whispered about tensions simmering backstage, hushed phone calls, secret meetings in shadowy hotel bars, promises whispered in the dark. The wrestling world was rife with speculation. Could the bond of the Shield survive the crushing weight of corporate ambition? For fans, the Shield was more than just a faction. It was a brotherhood forged in fire. Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins were supposed to be different, a revolutionary force poised to change wrestling forever. But according to Moxley, the story behind Roman's departure and return is far less romantic. In a candid and fiery interview, already being called the most controversial shoot in recent wrestling history, Moxley dismantled the narrative of brotherhood, loyalty, and honor, revealing the raw, ugly truth beneath the glitz and glamour. The most predictable thing in wrestling. Moxley's cold take on Roman's return. When asked about Roman's return, Moxley didn't mince words. His voice, sharp and cutting, sliced through the hype like a razor. I think it's the most predictable thing that's happened in wrestling in the last 5 years. His take was brutal. The so-called Golden Boy running straight back to the corporate machine at the first sign of real adversity. The moment Roman had to actually fight for something, not have it handed to him on a silver platter, he ran back. That's the story. Moxley's words reflect not just bitterness, but a fundamental divide over what wrestling means. Wrestling's two paths. Artistry versus corporate machine. Moxley painted a stark picture of the wrestling world as a battlefield between two philosophies. On one side, the WWE corporate juggernaut, prioritizing marketability, brand control, and formulaic storytelling designed for maximum revenue. On the other, the scrappy underground movement championed by wrestlers like Moxley, who demand authenticity, creative freedom, and artistic integrity over a guaranteed paycheck. I wasn't crazy to leave WWE, Moxley insisted, his passion igniting with every word. People said I was throwing away millions, but I wasn't throwing away money. I was throwing away garbage. Garbage writing, garbage creative control, garbage respect. Roman? He swallowed all that and asked for more. The death of the Shield Brotherhood, a personal betrayal. For wrestling fans around the world, the Shield wasn't just a faction. It was a symbol of unity, loyalty, and something rare in the often staged and scripted universe of professional wrestling, a genuine brotherhood. When Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins burst onto the WWE scene as a dominant trio, they weren't just athletes performing a show. To many, they embodied a real friendship forged in shared struggles, late-night conversations, and a burning desire to change the wrestling landscape. But beneath the surface of the camaraderie, something began to fracture. Moxley's recent candid and painful revelations have peeled back the curtain to reveal the emotional toll behind the scenes. The Shield was real, he said, his voice trembling between soft nostalgia and steely disappointment. What we had, the brotherhood, the loyalty, the shared vision, it was all real. Yet that reality didn't hold. Moxley's words cut deep. Somewhere along the way, Roman forgot everything we stood for. The tribal chief persona. A mask or the true face? Roman Reigns' transformation into the tribal chief has been hailed by critics and fans alike as one of the most compelling character evolutions in recent wrestling history. His heel turn, marked by an air of arrogance, dominance, and commanding presence, revitalized his career and made him one of WWE's top stars again. But beneath the glowing praise, Moxley sees something far less flattering. "It wasn't acting," Moxley said bluntly. "That was Roman showing who he really is." To Moxley, the tribal chief persona is less a crafted character and more a revealing mirror into Roman's true nature: arrogant, entitled, and conditioned to expect everything handed to him without the need to fight or prove himself. This is a man shaped by years of corporate favoritism, who learned early on that success could be guaranteed by WWE's backing rather than by grinding in the trenches. Two careers, two philosophies. Moxley's journey versus Roman's corporate ascent. At the heart of this conflict lies a profound philosophical divide about what professional wrestling is and what it should be. Jon Moxley's journey is one of rebellion, sacrifice, and artistic exploration. He walked away from the lucrative contracts and bright lights of WWE to dive headfirst into the unpredictable, often unforgiving world of independent wrestling and AEW. There he wrestled for small crowds in gymnasiums, bled in bingo halls, and built a career on connecting deeply with fans through passion and authenticity. In stark contrast, Roman's path represents the polished, corporate-driven model of wrestling success. Guaranteed main event spots, cushy contracts, and carefully managed storylines defined his career. While Moxley was sweating it out in small venues, learning the craft and risking everything to stay true to his vision, Roman was thriving under WWE's corporate umbrella, protected from failure, fast-tracked to superstardom. The impact on Seth Rollins and the wrestling industry at large. This rift within the Shield has complicated repercussions, especially for Seth Rollins, who finds himself caught between two worlds. Publicly, Rollins remains loyal to WWE and maintains friendships with both Moxley and Roman. Privately, however, Moxley suggests that Seth is wrestling with divided loyalties. "Seth's stuck in a tough spot," Moxley explained. "He's trying to hold on to friendships while keeping his place in the WWE machine. But you can't serve two masters forever. Eventually, he'll have to pick a side." This tension between commercial security and creative freedom isn't unique to Seth. It mirrors a broader schism within professional wrestling today. Wrestlers must choose between the guaranteed financial safety and exposure that WWE offers or the uncertain, often riskier path that values artistic freedom and authenticity. Seth's position symbolizes the difficult choices many performers face as they navigate their careers amidst competing pressures and personal values. The corporate safety net versus artistic freedom, what's at stake? Moxley's critique carries a grave warning for the future of wrestling. Every time a wrestler opts for WWE's secure corporate path, they chip away at the heart and soul of the sport. Roman Reigns' return isn't just a storyline or a business decision. It's a message sent loud and clear to every young wrestler watching. Corporate approval is more important than artistic integrity. To Moxley, this message is poisonous. Wrestling, once a realm where risk-taking, rebellion, and authentic storytelling thrived, is slowly dying under the weight of corporate safety nets and market-tested narratives. The very qualities that made wrestling compelling, its unpredictability, its raw emotion, its boundary-pushing artistry, are being sacrificed for polished, formulaic entertainment that prioritizes profit above all. This, Moxley argues, isn't just a business model, it's a cultural shift, a death knell for the wrestling industry's rebellious spirit. It threatens to turn wrestling into a sanitized product, devoid of passion and authenticity, where creative risk is punished and conformity rewarded. Conclusion: a crossroads for wrestling's soul. Jon Moxley's brutal honesty isn't just about personal grievances or professional rivalry. It's a call to action for the wrestling world to decide what it truly values. Will wrestling continue down the path of corporate-approved, market-driven entertainment, or will it embrace the messy, unpredictable, and authentic spirit that once made it revolutionary? The story of the Shield's breakup, the contrasting paths of Moxley and Roman, and the tension felt by Seth Rollins encapsulate a larger, existential crisis for professional wrestling. The industry stands at a crossroads, and the choices made by performers, companies, and fans alike will shape wrestling's future for generations. Moxley's words resonate because they remind us that wrestling isn't just a business. It's an art form with a soul, and that soul is under threat.